Welcome to the Chasing the Monster podcast. I'm Griffin Aldridge, and we have some breaking news. The Boston's, I almost said Celtics. Sorry, I do a Celtics podcast, so go check it out. The Boston Red Sox just traded for Willson Contreras. They traded Hunter Dobbins in that trade. Big trade for the Red Sox. I personally love this trade. I am a huge fan of Willson Contreras, and I've followed him for so long. And this is a guy I've always wanted the Red Sox to go after, especially at that catcher position. But now we're seeming like we have our first baseman. So love this move. This is a guy who can really hit the ball. And I really enjoy this move for the Red Sox. However, you're losing a good guy in Hunter Dobbins. If you guys haven't known, I was an intern for the Portland Sea Dogs. So Hunter Dobbins actually played some rehab games for the Sea Dogs in this past season. So I got to see him play. And this is a guy that I'm very high on in the 2025 season. Played 13 games. Games started at 11, was 4-1. So a positive record with a 4.13 ERA with 45 strikeouts and a 1.28 whip. This is a guy who he's a right-handed pitcher, 6'2", and 26 years old, so he's young, he's talented, and it's showing that the Red Sox are gonna give up guys because they wanna win right now, and I think Willson Contreras is definitely a guy that will help them win right now. Willson Contreras is gonna be our first baseman, it looks like, but he could also be a catcher as well. I'm not sure why they had him switch. Not very sure with that, uh, what happened there. But I personally love this move. I am a huge fan of it, and I think you got a power hitter in Willson Contreras in the 2025 season. He had 490 at bats, had 90 runs with 126 hits, 80 RBIs, and his average was 0.257, so 257. So I mean, he's solid. He's solid, and I really like his for career stats. I mean, played a lot of games with the Cubs, and this is a player that will really help them win now. And I like this move. And especially and last year had 20 home runs, and career has 172 home runs. So I am a big fan of this move for the Red Sox. I've also always been a fan of Contreras. You're giving up a lot in Hunter Dobbins, but the return package, I like that. And we saw with the Red Sox trading Justin St. Garcia, and we saw them, they're getting rid of younger guys because the Red Sox, they're proving that they want to win now. I think now they're just a Bregman away from a championship, like they're doing moves to help us improve constantly. And Willson Contreras is a guy that's going to be a power hitter for you. He's going to be a solid bat. Obviously is a right-handed bat, which we need, and this is a guy that really is going to help you get over that. So I like him. Career stats again, is hitting 258. So again, he's a solid hitter, right on the cusp of right around trying to get up there towards the 300s, but a good hitter. Obviously there is some strikeouts. I know because I used to have him on my fantasy team, so there are some concerns around that. But this is a player that I am huge on this move. I love this move. I've always been a fan of Contreras, and for me personally, I think it's a win-win. I think the Cardinals, they have a great asset in this trade as well. Hunter Dobbins is a guy who I don't know his ceiling. Like, could he potentially be a star? Yes. But I think he's a solid pitcher that you're going to see the Red Sox down the road be like, all right, well, long term. But I want to look up how long Willson Contreras contract, because the contract is what's important to me. He signed with the Cardinals with a 5-year contract, so I believe we have him for 3 more years because it looks like he was with the Cardinals for 2. Not sure about the opt out is, and he's so yeah, and it looks like we have him for 3 more seasons. So very positive on that side, 3 to 2 seasons. So the long-term longevity, I like that too. You have a guy that's not on an expiring deal, not like you're gonna have him 1 year. He's gonna be around for a little bit. And he's an older guy who I like because he has experience. And you need experience. The thing is, you have a lot of young guys on this roster, and you need a guy who they could turn to in the clubhouse. He's 33 years old, veteran. And again, he's a guy who could match in there with Trevor Story. I am huge on this move for the Boston Red Sox. I think this is a move that, this proves that they want to win now. Obviously, haven't done a lot in the free agency market, and there's still guys out there, and there's still guys you could trade for, like Cattell Marte and guys of that sort. But Willson Contreras is the start of something, and it's something better than nothing. So I love that part. And again, would love for them to go after Bregman. Haven't seen a lot of buzz in that. Have seen a lot of talks about the Diamondbacks going after Bregman. However, you know, Contreras, that won't solve the whole offseason. If Bregman goes somewhere else, I think Sox fans are going to be upset about that. But this is definitely a start in the right direction. Now you need to make a free agency signing. And this is a good right-handed power bat. And you're going to enjoy this. And, this could be a good replacement at first. Casas dealing with a lot of injuries and stuff. And you could rotate them if you need to. But also, this is another catcher. He's caught in years past. He's known as a catcher. So, I mean, I don't know where they're gonna roll with that. Is this out for Connor Wong? Is this gonna be his replacement, or is this gonna be Costas's replacement? I don't know what they're gonna do with him because I know he has experience catching, but I like this move, and I really am in favor of this happening because this gives a guy who he's entering his age 34 season. Like, this is a guy who he's older and he's playing for the Red Sox now, and I'm all over this move. This is a move that I'm happy about for the Red Sox, and there you're building up. You're building up to a championship competitive team. And obviously got rid of a guy in Justin Sin Garcia, who was a great prospect for you. And now with Hunter Dobbins, he was a guy who gave you a lot of good, promising time last year. And there's that huge controversy with the Yankees, how he was saying his dad declined going to the Yankees or something. So he had Red Sox written all over him, which was great. But you're in a business and you gotta make the moves. And Hunter Dobbins obviously had a lot of injuries, and I think he had Tommy John last year. I might be mistaken, but had to go to recovery. And I got to see him play valuable time with the Sea Dogs, and it was good time though. I saw improvement from him, but and he wore, I think it was the red snapper jerseys, yeah, when he was there. But again, this is a guy where the Red Sox want to go after it now. They don't want to wait around. They want to build up a team that they can go for it now. And Hunter Dobbins was a guy that they probably saw too much injury prone, and they're looking at this and they're looking at Contreras. I know Contreras has a history of injuries as well, but they look at him and they're like, this is a guy that can help our needs. The Red Sox, this is another starting pitcher, and you look at the starting pitching depth with the Boston Red Sox, it's way too big. So you could afford to get rid of some of these pitchers for batters and actually make a trade to go out there and get these. And that's exactly what they did. I don't know if you'll see them trading a pitcher for Cattell Marte, if that even happens. That's on my list, my Christmas list of things I want the Red Sox to do. But this is a great start. And I've been saying it and saying it and saying it. I love this move for the Red Sox. And this is one thing where you're going to look back and I think, they're losing still a lot. Again, young talent with Dobbins, but Willson Contreras definitely solves their issue. He's playing first, and this might be the problem. Like, they've been constantly saying, we need a first baseman, we need a first baseman. Here's your answer. You got a first baseman. You got a guy who's playing first. You got a guy who could be a power hitter. You got a right-handed bat, which is awesome. And I just like this move for the Red Sox. And again, the fact that he can play first and catch, I love it. But that's my whole input on this. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Lewis is in the Dominican Republic and David is at work, so he's busy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Griffin Aldridge, and thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all.